Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming to the weekly Minks Monday Q&A. Before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently rocking, and that is the Louis Vuitton Speedy 30 in the Damier Azur. Alright, so grab a coffee, grab a tea, let's start workout, let's go work, let's do laundry, whatever you're doing, come join me. We have some awesome topics to cover today. Starting with the first question from Danielle Marks. I went to Fendi a couple of weeks ago, and needless to say, I didn't have the best experience. The salesperson followed my friend and I the entire time we were browsing and looking over her shoulder as if we were going to steal. It made us feel very uncomfortable, so we left. This is one of my biggest pet peeves. Do you have any pet peeves, or has anything made you feel uncomfortable when you shop in these boutiques? This is an awesome question, and I'm so sorry to hear that you didn't have a good shopping experience, and I can definitely understand where you're coming from. One of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to shopping in these boutiques is when the associate is so over the top about whatever it is that I'm looking at that they feel the need to tell me what they think I want to hear just to make the sale. Now, I completely understand that a lot of these associates work on commission, and at the end of the day, that is their job to push those sales. So I completely get that, but sometimes it's just so much that it makes it very unbelievable to me, and it makes me very leery of what they're saying. I prefer to work with an associate who can kind of distance themselves from the company that they're working for, and they can be real with me as a fellow consumer about the item that I am looking at and tell me, hey, you don't want to go for it because it doesn't age very well, or hey, this item ends up scratching very, very easily, or whatever the case may be. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable with that associate, and it really makes me feel that I can trust what it is that they're saying versus someone who's trying to push something and pressure me into buying it, but I do appreciate that they're trying to provide that customer service, which I think is awesome. Instead, I feel like it kind of pushes me away instead of bringing me closer to buy that item. As an example, the last time that I was in Gucci, I was checking out their shoes, and there was a pair of shoes that wasn't the most appealing. They kind of looked like pilgrim shoes. I have no idea what the name was, but the reason why I was attracted to them and I wanted to try them on is because they had this ginormous G that was filled with crystals. And you know me, I can't pass up anything sparkly, So I asked the associate if I could try them on, and once he brings them out and I put them on my foot, he's like, oh my, you have to get those. They look amazing on you. They look incredible. The square toe really works with your legs, and everybody's buying these. These things are selling like hotcakes. We have low stock and just really building up the shoe. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I haven't seen anybody with these. Not that that's a reason to buy something, but it didn't really mesh with what he was saying, But like I said, I was just attracted to them because of the sparkle. But trust me, they didn't work with my style. They didn't work with, what I was wearing that day. And then I see his associate or his coworker come around the corner, and she looks at me, she looks at the shoe, she's like, oh, you're trying them on? These shoes are amazing. Everybody's buying them. And it's almost like the same thing that he said, and I'm just like, this makes me, this makes me very leery of what they're saying. So that's what I was, mentioning before. It's so over the top. It makes it unbelievable. Yeah, I didn't buy those shoes. They didn't work with me. They were very, very sparkly. And the square toe, if anything, I felt it made me look really, really short. But yeah, so, it's almost like I was like, all right, I see you, Gucci. I see you. You guys work in pairs to try to push the sales. But that's just the way that I feel. So when it comes to an associate who is so over the top, I can't really get behind what they're saying. But I would love to know, what are some of your pet peeves when it comes to shopping in these boutiques? Let us know in the comment section down below. But fantastic question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Stardust and Peonies. Do you ever keep the authenticity cards in each handbag? I see a lot of people on YouTube mention doing this. I keep mine in a separate place at home. Recently, a woman on Instagram had her beautiful Birkin stolen from her, along with its contents, which included a Chanel small leather good. She mentioned that it would be harder for the thieves to sell the small leather good without the authenticity card. Leaving the card in the handbag seems to be a great bonus for a thief. What do you think? I think that sucks. That majorly sucks, and I totally feel for her, and hopefully they were able to recover her items. But personally, I am not a big fan of leaving the authenticity cards inside of the handbags. I realize that some people do this so that they don't lose them, but I also like to have mine in a separate place at home with a receipt and everything else that comes with it. And I don't think it would make it harder to sell a small leather good that doesn't have an authenticity card, because I think it really comes down to personal preference. And the reason I say that is because, for example, when I buy something from Chanel, on the pre-loved market, I have to have the authenticity card with it. That's one of the quirks. That's one of the things that I look for. But I realize that that's not for everybody. There are some people that couldn't care less if it comes with an authenticity card, because all they have to do is go to an authenticator, get a piece of paper that says it's authentic if they were to sell it in the future, you know, or you hear of some people that have the authenticity cards and they throw them away. So I think it really comes down to the person. So I don't feel that it makes it harder to sell a small leather good without the authenticity card, but it does make it easier. And it just would make me very, very nervous to have it in my handbag at all times when I'm carrying it and I'm out and about, versus losing it at home. Because at home, I know that it's somewhere within my house. You know, I just have to look for it. But if I was to misplace my bag, or if someone was to steal it, then they have that much more, you know, to add to their sale or what have you. But I turn to you. What do you guys end up doing? Do you carry your authenticity cards with you within the handbag whenever you are out and about? And if it's not for the reasons of losing it, why is it that you carry it with you? Or are you the type that also keeps it in a separate place at home? Let us know in the comment section down below. But fantastic question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Wilmer Partita. Hopefully I said that correctly. I'm just starting my luxury collection. It's time for a handbag, and I'm between the Louis Vuitton Neverfull in the MM size or the Givenchy Antigona in the medium size. Can you give a quick pros and cons and which one you would recommend? All right, so before I get any further, let me insert a picture of these two bags side by side. Let's start off with the Neverfull pros and cons. The pros on this handbag for me are that it is very versatile. You can incorporate it into various ways of your lifestyle. It is lightweight, it is comfortable, and you have easy access to all of your items because you can see everything at a glance. The cons, I would have to say that it does have a lack of security. Of course, you can end up cinching the sides, but still you don't have a zipper or anything like that. And also, it doesn't have a whole lot of organization to it because it's just one big open tote. If you were to use an organizer, that would definitely end up helping out. But for the most part, it's just an open bag. Now, when it comes to the Givenchy Antigona in the medium size, the pros, I would have to say that it has a fabulous price point for being an all leather handbag. It is also versatile because you can carry it on the crook of your arm, you can hand carry it, or you can put it up on your shoulder. I also think that it has beautiful structure. You don't have to worry that it's going to turn into a beautiful mess or anything like that. In the medium size, you can really get away with carrying a lot more in there as well. And last but not least, the fact that it does have the zippered closure, so it gives you a little bit more peace of mind whenever you are in a crowded area. The cons that I would have to say is because of that same beautiful leather, it can be quite heavy even without items. So if you are using this for an extended period of time, and if you were to use it on the crook of your arm, you would definitely be able to feel that weight. The next con, I don't really consider a con because it's really about personal preference, but I would have to say that the medium size can look a little bit overwhelming. Another con is that it does come with a one size fits all type of strap. So if you needed it to be a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, you can't really play around with it that way. But I do appreciate the fact that you can end up putting it on your shoulder if you want it to be hands-free. So those are the quick things that I can think of as far as pros and cons. I think both of these bags are beautiful. At the same time, I think it is a little bit unfair for me to tell you which one to go for because the Neverfull is one of my reigning champions when it comes to handbags. I absolutely love that bag. I can talk about it till the cows come home. You guys know that. But I really prefer that one over the Givenchy. I do love the Givenchy because it is beautiful. I love the structure. I love the silhouette. And again, the fact that it does have a fabulous price point for being an all leather handbag, I think is awesome. And when it comes to the sugared leather, I feel that it's very durable. I haven't had any issues with scratches, with wear and tear, or anything like that. So, it's a matter of personal preference, but I think both of them are beautiful. So I don't know if this ends up helping out, but I'm super, super excited for you to add one of these to your collection, and whichever one you decide to go for, congratulations. But awesome question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Alicia Ricky. People often say that they don't purchase Chanel costume jewelry, especially at the high price points, due to the decline in quality as well as stones falling out. A lot of times you can spend the same amount and get a real gold piece. My question to you is, being that I love the look of the Chanel CC pieces and I love wearing them, What are your thoughts on having my Chanel costume jewelry without stones plated in gold by professional jeweler? All right, so I personally don't end up buying any more Chanel fashion jewelry for the same reason that you mentioned, but I think that this is such a cool idea. If you really like them and if you see yourself wearing them often, by being able to spend a little bit more money, you elevate them from being costume jewelry into fine jewelry. And I think that is absolutely amazing. Now I know that you had mentioned that you would end up using, or you would end up going with a pair that doesn't have any stones. But if, let's say that the post was to break or anything like that, you wouldn't be able to take them into Chanel because you are altering them. So in a sense, you are voiding the warranty. But at the same time, if you're already taking them to a jeweler, obviously the jeweler would be able to take care of that. One other thing to keep in the back of your mind, I would personally recommend doing this with a pair of earrings that you would consider your forever pair. And the reason I say that, besides, you know, the fact that you will be altering them, is if you decide later on down the line to sell them, someone might be dubious to their authenticity because you decided to plate them in real gold. So again, that's just something to keep in the back of your mind. But I think that this is a fabulous idea because let's be honest, when you talk about Chanel's fine jewelry, we're not talking hundreds of dollars, we're talking thousands of dollars, you know? So to be able to revamp it a little bit by adding a little bit more money, and as you said before, with a pair of earrings that that you see yourself wearing all the time, I think that is awesome. So yeah, I think it's great, but I would love to hear your thoughts. Have any of you guys done this before? Or what are some things that you would also recommend to look out for just in case? Let us know in the comment section down below. But fantastic question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Noel R. What are your thoughts about Yogi's Closet? All right, so when it comes to Yogi's Closet, I've probably purchased anywhere from 7 to 9 items from them the entire time that I've been buying luxury goods, and I've always had awesome experiences. I've never had any issues whatsoever, and I'll have to say that when it comes to product description and pictures, they are by far the best in the business because they are so incredibly detailed, they're so thorough, and they provide you with each and every angle on the item that you're looking for. That way there are no surprises when you do have it in your hands, because everything that you see in the bag you've already seen on the screen, you know. And on that same note, I feel like the pictures are so crystal clear. It's almost like you can touch the bag, you can touch the small leather good that you're looking at, you know, and I applaud them for that because a lot of these consignment shops, a lot of the companies on the pre-loved market sometimes only provide you with maybe 3 to 4 pictures or at most 10, but the fact that they give you, again, each and every angle and they're so detailed, they're so thorough, I feel really adds to the peace of mind of buying that item. That way you don't have any of those surprises that I mentioned earlier. Now I will also have to say that they don't have the largest selection when it comes to the pre-loved market. Of course, they aren't as big of a company as some of the other ones that are out there, and sometimes their prices can be a little bit higher, but I have been able to find some awesome deals and some items that are in like brand new condition, you know. So once again, I feel that when it comes to their pictures and the description, they are by far the best in the business. So fantastic question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Laura Sanders. For your big birthday, as you mentioned, besides the Rolex, is there anything on your wish list that you want to get or are asking for as well, or is it just the watch? All right, so for my big birthday, the Rolex is actually a gift to myself. I never asked for anything expensive for my birthday or for anniversaries or anything like that, and I already started the fund because let's be honest, it's going to take a little bit. It's going to take a little bit to be able to pay for it, but I'm so excited for when that moment comes. There is one other thing that I would like to buy to commemorate the birthday, and that is to buy a pair of tickets to go to Egypt, because I have been fascinated with ancient Egypt for as long as I can remember. It's actually the #1 thing on my bucket list, and to be able to cross it off on that big birthday would be amazing, because I said to myself when I was younger that I will go and I will see the pyramids of Giza, I will see the Sphinx, I will be able to go into the Egyptian Museum of Antiquities in Cairo and see their extensive collection of ancient Egypt, and it would be incredible. It would definitely be a dream come true. And if it came down to choosing between the trip or going for the watch, 100% I would go for the trip, because like I said before, it is a childhood dream and I am just fascinated with the history, you know, of ancient Egypt. So yeah. But the watch it's gonna be so, I feel like when you save up for something, this is kind of a side note, but I feel like when you save up for something, I feel like that item it tastes that much sweeter because you know everything that went into getting that item, or you saved up for it for X amount of time, or whatever the case may be. And I feel that it really just makes that item that much more special. I don't know. That's the way that I see it. But yeah, either the Rolex, you know, and being able to go to Egypt or be able to do both. But for sure, Egypt 100% is the number one thing on my bucket list. So fantastic question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. And the last question from Rosie Duran, what do you think about the Louis Vuitton Artsy remodel with the new trim on top? I've been wanting to get the bag, but now with the trim, I'm not sure if I like it. All right, so before I get any further, let me insert a picture of the revamped Louis Vuitton Artsy right now. I used to have the Artsy years ago, and I can definitely appreciate the fact that they did add the leather trim to help with the whole cracking canvas issue that a lot of people were experiencing before. But, call me crazy, I feel like it also takes something away from the bag. Because when it comes to the Artsy, at least in my eyes, I feel like the focal point is definitely the braided handle. It is absolutely beautiful, but I feel that that handle really ends up standing out. But once you add that leather trim, not that it ends up eclipsing it, but it's almost like it competes to be the focal point, and you can't really just see the braided handle. Like I said before, maybe I'm crazy, you know, maybe it's just me, but it is a beautiful bag. And once again, I do appreciate the fact that, you know, they kind of tried to remedy the whole issue with the cracking canvas, but I am personally not the biggest fan of the leather trim. But I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think? If you do have this bag, how do you find it? Do you feel that it really makes a difference on how it ends up wearing? Let us know in the comment section down below. But if you do decide to go for it, congratulations on your soon-to-be bag. But fantastic question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. All right, you guys, so that does it for Mink's Monday Q&A. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope I was able to help. You guys had some awesome questions this week. For this week's lineup, I will try to come on here one other time. I'm not sure. My schedule's a little bit crazy. But if not, then I will see you guys next Monday. But again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys later. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day.